Hello to all our patrons and welcome to our first video in Whispers from the Wood series. Now, normally we want to be actually out in the woodlands and bringing you insights and things we've noticed and all sorts of facts and things from the woods. But with us being on lockdown, we've been spending a lot of time in our garden, and we've actually brought the woods to our garden. So we're going to show you what we've been doing. Hopefully it will inspire you to create an area in your garden like we have. We've created a stumpery. So we've collected some amazing looking pieces of wood, and my husband has lifted and carried these big chunks without hurting his back amazingly, and together we've arranged them in a way that we think looks really good, and it's going to be amazing habitat for all the mini beasts, invertebrates. There's going to be all sorts living in this, and we've planted some ferns.
You might have read in gardening magazines that it's great to have a pile of logs in your garden for wildlife, because of course various insects will live in it and munch up all the wood, and then predators such as frogs and toads could be in there as well, which of course add a lot of interest to your garden and can get rid of things like slugs. And if you're growing vegetables, that's definitely going to be very attractive to you. But why should a pile of logs be something that's unattractive? And especially in a small garden where you haven't got a lot of space like ours, we're going to have to look at that pile of logs. So making a stumpery, or a logarium as Lee often calls it, because we always forget the name, making a stumpery is a great way to actually make that pile of logs something that's attractive and a real feature. And with age, it's just going to look even better.
Now the sun's shining on it, it's right at the end of the day, summertime, well spring, summer, but normally this is a very shady part of the garden. So it should stay quite damp and shaded, which the ferns and the mini beasts will love. When we first moved in, this was all astroturf, this garden. This was a year ago, and we hated it, absolutely hated it. But because it's now lockdown, we've managed to get so many jobs done. We've got a huge incentive. In a few weeks, I've got a little baby coming, a little boy, and the garden is really important to us. We want it for us and for him. So to have all this time is like a blessing. Stressful as it is, you know, we've got to find the silver lining in the clouds, and this is certainly our silver lining, is getting our garden prepared. So this path was created by my husband, and the stumpery was done yesterday.
This path that Lee mentioned that I've made is all out of recycled and upcycled materials that we had lying around in the garden. So there was already gravel from the old path that was all grown through with weeds, and all these bricks on the edging make I think make a great edge and give it a real kind of upcycled permaculture look. Just use what you've got.
This was a laburnum tree that we had to take down a few weeks ago, and it's got all these stems coming up. This was quite diseased. We thought it wasn't going to last very long, so we took it down. That's really interesting shape. This is actually black poplar. My husband found it, and it's just beautiful to look at. And then there was some old stumps for chopping wood in the garden, which have got fungus growing off them, which have been added to this area. We've got a tree fern that we bought from the gardens of Helligan 2-3 years ago on a holiday.
There's even a little plant that's flowering out of this dead laburnum stump. It looks a little bit like a sycamore leaf. I wonder if it is that's got in there. Only time will tell. But it's beautiful to see plants coming up in all these nooks and crannies.
And if you want to do this, once you've actually found your bits of wood and stumps, get in touch with a tree surgeon, because very often they'll give this stuff away. The tree surgeon we know has to pay to get rid of wood chip, so he's happy to give us a load of it. But also, if you ever find any interesting pieces of bark and things, collect them, ready for your own stumpery. But it's great for wildlife gardening. It makes a really nice entranceway into my garden room, which is actually my counselling room. So for me, it's about creating a therapeutic space. And and underneath all this bark is a membrane which will let the water through but won't let weeds up. So this is also maintenance free or low maintenance area of the garden that I don't have to worry about. Looks good, great for wildlife and low maintenance. Happy days.
Lee mentioned that there's some artificial membrane under all this wood chip, and that's right. So these ferns have had a hole, an X cut in the membrane, it's peeled back, and then we planted in. And so of course those ferns are going to get plenty of water. And the wood chip also acts as a mulch to keep that moisture in and prevent the soil from drying out. So what we're doing here is bringing the woods to the garden. So we're bringing in those old stumps, those woody ferns which are really going to grow and sprawl across these stumps here. And we're going to get all the various mini beasts that come with the woods there as well. So if you can't get out to the woods, why not think about bringing the woods to your garden?
So hopefully this will inspire you to perhaps have your own stumpery in a nice shady part of your garden. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you at the next Whispers from the Woods. Bye bye.